So the Wall Street Journal had a poll. The question was, does the American dream still hold true? Yeah, well, the first question is, what is the American dream? They defined it as that if you work hard, you'll get ahead. Only 36% of people said yes. 64% said no. Wow, okay. I wonder if people really know what they were answering. I think most people think the American dream is something material and like economic. So I think what they were really answering was, how's the economy? Is the economy good or bad? I'm like, the bad. Okay. So we've been talking a lot about this on my SiriusXM show, on Patriot, the morning show, about what is the American dream? And a lot of people say the American dream is whatever you want it to be. Freedom, as we were talking with the Reverend a moment ago. And I'm just not, that's not it. It's got to be more than that. And people say, oh, it's that your kid's life is better than yours. And that's good. But what does better mean? Who defines what better? Do you mean richer? That's it? Money? It's back to money again? Oh, the American dream, Slater, is to own a home. Again, money. And we could see, where that policy effort led us with the housing collapse of 2007. But I can't have I can't have the American dream dependent on the Federal Reserve setting interest rates. That's not good. Like, that's not a good dream. It's got to be more than material. One of my all-time favorite stories, I know we've shared it here before. Please read the book Road to Dawn, the story of Josiah Henson. Josiah Henson. He was a slave, the inspiration for Uncle Tom's Cabin, which is the book that sparked the Civil War. So very short, and I hate even telling this story so quickly because it doesn't do justice at all. But after 41 years of torture and deep betrayal, he finally was able to escape. And it was him, his wife, and his two youngest kids. They hiked 600 miles at night to the border of Canada, to Lake Erie. And he carried his two children on his back for 600 miles. And he got to the shore of Lake Erie and he had to get across. So he had to trust that ferry captain right there. Right, there's a chance that if he said, hey, I got to get across, he'd be like, oh, I'm going to report you. And then he's captured again and it's the end of his life. But he had to take the risk. So he asked this man, who's a Scottish man, if he would sail him across. And he said, yes. They finally got across. And as they're getting off the boat, the man said to Josiah, be a good fellow, won't you? And Josiah responded, yes, I will. I will use my freedom well. People say the American dream is freedom. I would say it's using your freedom well. Okay, Slater, finally, a great story. What does well mean? It's not about money. It's about virtue. Well, let's go back to the beginning. So the guy who coined the term, he was an historian. His name was James Truslow Adams in 1931. He wrote a book called Epic of America. This is the quote that everyone quotes from that book. Again, he's the guy who coined the term, the American dream. So let's go to him. He says, life should be better and richer and fuller for everyone, with opportunity for each according to ability or achievement, regardless of social class or circumstances of birth. Okay, that's what everyone quotes because that's the money part. Everything should be richer for everyone. Okay, what they don't quote is the next sentence. The next sentence is, it is not a dream of motor cars and high wages merely, but a dream of social order in which each man and each woman shall be able to attain to the fullest stature of which they are innately capable and be recognized by others for what they are. So for you as a person, he went on to say that the American dream is about the spiritual values. And it's about a struggle. Our struggle is that to make a living, we were neglecting to live. So you see, like that last quote, the rest of that quote there is about virtue. It's about living your life in such a way that. Thomas Jefferson wrote a letter to his daughter. And the advice was how to avoid the poison of hopelessness. And he said, Thomas Jefferson says that developing daily those principles of virtue and goodness, which will make you valuable to others and happy in yourself. Virtue, daily. All right, again, this is Thomas. This is the guy who wrote Life, Liberty, and Pursuit of Happiness. As we talked about in the first segment, pursuit of happiness really meant practice of virtue. And here he is giving that same advice To his daughter, develop daily those principles of virtue and goodness will make you valuable to others and happy in yourself. Health, learning, and virtue will ensure your happiness. They will give you a quiet conscience, private esteem, and public honor, which is what the guy who coined the term as well was talking about, this public honor, because you're a virtuous person. John Adams said, all sober inquirers after truth, ancient and modern, pagan and Christian, have declared that the happiness of man, as well as his dignity, consists in virtue. That is what the American dream is all about. So how do we thrive? How do we not just live, but how do we thrive? By practicing virtue. Okay, so well, what virtues? You keep saying virtue, but what virtues? I got 10 for you. Arthur Brooks. He wrote a great book called The Conservative Heart many years ago. He's now at Harvard. He studies happiness. Every once in a while, he'll come out with some really good stuff. So this is Aristotle, 10 virtues from Aristotle that will make you happy. The first is courage. Number 2, temperance. Temperance is self-control in the face of your appetites and base impulses. Right? So the motto, the hippie motto today is, if it feels good, do it. And that is just a recipe for misery. Right? Instead, we want temperance, we want self-control. There's another word for that. Generosity. You need to be generous. Aristotle used the term that we translate today as magnificence. I changed it to excellence. We need excellence. You want to live a virtuous life, you have to do things excellently. I was just having this talk with my 7-year-old the other day. He tries to get away with many things doing the bare minimum. It's like, no, son. We stand for excellence in this family. A job well done. What's the old expression? Right? Anything worth doing is worth doing well. Excellence. Number 5, greatness of soul. These are the virtues that will lead to happiness. This is the practicing of virtue. What virtues? Here they are. They're on the screen. Courage, self-control, generosity, excellence, greatness of soul. It means not preoccupied by trivial things. Instead, you're focusing on the deeper, more significant, more meaningful things in life, and not just the pettiness. Right? Greatness of soul. Number 6, gentleness. Controlling your temper. If you lose your temper, you lose everything. Number 7, truthfulness. You stand for the truth. I'll add in there truth about yourself as well. Self-awareness. This is a great one. Equity. Equity. What does this mean? It meant, back in the day, the opposite of what we think of what we say it is today. So the equitable man is one who does not, the quote goes, the equitable man this is an ancient philosopher, is the one who by choice and habit does not stand on his rights unduly, but is content to receive a smaller share, although he has the law on his side. Okay, so we've flipped it around. So the word really means you're content with not getting what you think you deserve. And equity today means getting what you don't deserve. Right? So today is, these people aren't getting what they don't deserve, so we need to make things equitable and lift them up and give them things they don't deserve. Now we have equity. The original virtue of equity meant you may deserve much more by law or by right, but you're content with not having it. Number 9 is forgiveness. And number 10 is modesty, which is not just about clothes, but about refraining from all shameful behavior. So there it is. If you want to live a life of virtue, there it is. So let's go through these 10 again, but with a statement to each of them. If you want to live a life of virtue, you need to name your fears and face them. That's the courage. You need to know your appetites and control them. Self-control. You need to be not a cheapskate nor a spendthrift, but to be generous, good with money and generous. Number 4, give as generously as you can. Number 5, focus more on the transcendent. Number 6, true strength is a controlled temper. Number 7, never lie, especially to yourself. Number 8, stop struggling for your fair share. Number 9, forgive others. And number 10, define your morality and live up to it all the time. We have the freedom in this country for now, but we have that freedom. Great. It's not enough. That's not the end of the story. It's just the beginning. The real question is, are we using our freedom well?